Don't know if that was one of my better ones.
I forgot about claps.
Really? Because you have the clap. That's surprising.
You
Burn.
It's so tough now because I can't see the countdown like I did once upon a time.
Yeah, I'll work on a way to like angle it.
Yeah, well, maybe it was at one time when we were out and about and it was closer to... I don't know. There was one distinct time when I could actually like see it quite easily.
I think it was a cosmic Batman day.
Maybe, yeah. And I don't know, maybe I'm just getting old. Eyesight's not what it used to be. I have noticed it. In I think it's in my right eye. Yeah, there are certain times where like I'm sitting there and you're trying to scroll through menus on, I don't know, not really Netflix, but other streaming things or whatever it is on the TV, and some of the finer print, the old days, maybe a couple years back, Warren could read that no problem. Now it's blurred. It's not as crisp.
You maybe chat to Kira because I mean that's her vibe.
Yeah,
the
I
whole
don't know if I want to go that route yet.
Yeah,
It's slightly blurred, and it's I know because what I've done is I've done the test where I go like hair and hair to see which one is more blurred, and this one is more blurred than this one. This one's quite sharp. That one's more blurred. So it's happening.
So you got 20/0 vision.
I don't know. I used to have 2020 or 2021. No, I don't think I have it anymore because of this. And like I say, I think it's intelligence, brain recognition, all of that I can still read and understand the stuff, even though it's slightly hazed to what it used to be. Yeah, I think it happens to us all, man.
So how was Christmas, dude, and all that New Year's, all that stuff?
Yeah, it wasn't Christmas in lockdown. What can you say about it, really? You know, I was supposed to do Christmas Eve with a friend, and literally on the day, she phoned me to say she just wasn't in like a good headspace and blah 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 blah, and I was like, okay. Fine. Kind of left that alone then, and then Christmas Eve I did some of my usual things that I like to do. So like I watched Die Hard because it's a Christmas movie. Watched Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, nice. I haven't watched it in a while.
Yeah, so like and I only thought about it because of that documentary that we spoke about the last time, the Christmas movies that made us and that. So that was on my mind. Gave that a watch again. It was good, enjoyable. Christmas Day, I was with a mate. A couple of us were at his house, and they did a gammon, a lamb, like all kinds of things. Like it was a proper solid Christmas lunch.
Nice.
And nibblings into the evenings. And just most of us ended up staying there, even crashing on couches because we drank a lot. And by the time 9 o'clock rolled around, we were all like, well, no, we're not going to bother or attempt and stuff. And then played a couple board games, went to bed. So it was a chilled Christmas.
I think it probably was like that for a lot of people, dude. Because I mean, I know I went to
family, hey?
Kira's parents, and it was similar vibe. Like because Kira like told them like they made me designated gammon maker because of friends missing stuff. So I made 2 gammons, which was fun. It was cool. And also what we did is Kira's mom gave us the idea, and we went and like fetched our dogs. We came home quickly and fetched them, so they got to hang out with us and not be alone. Yeah. Which is also really cool because that's often the sacrifice you've got to make. You got to leave your poor dogs at home alone if you're out. Yeah, man. And it's exact same vibe. Like, you know, big lunch, dessert, going crazy. And we also ended up playing Kings and Cards Against Humanity and it was just drinking. And then also, look, we planned to sleep over right from the start. You know, there was never in dispute. So, yeah, that was us, man. That was Christmas with family. So,
well, Christmas Eve, because I was hungover Christmas Eve, so I spent most of the day not in bed, but just lying on couch and or bed.
Christmas Eve or Boxing Day?
The Boxing Day. Yeah.
No, also, I wasn't dead, but I didn't feel amazing. So, yeah, we also just chilled out. And
hard chill. Caught up on a lot of... And actually, around that period, Netflix released a lot of cool shows, extra episodes. We were talking Archer. Season 11 came out, if not around Christmas, certainly around New Year's. That's a good one that came to the streaming media. So I'm pretty sure it was either that or there was one other thing that I solidly binged on Boxing Day.
Nice.
Like hard. Had zero ambition, zero anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, through the holidays, I started doing that cleanup where got the shelves in, reorganized, repacked, have a pile of comics that I need to sort into boxes and that. And before even doing that, they just weren't in any order. And I vividly remember just lying there going, yeah, I could potentially do that, just sit there and just alphabetize and sort. And that was just too much like hard work. I was like, no,
you did more than me, man, with the shelving stuff. Like if I open this cupboard behind me, it's like stuff will probably fall out still. So like just to get the room ready for the podcast and stuff. But I did like, yeah, man, like I did like, there's a few things that are always like, I've had this like to-do list and it's just like, keep avoiding them. Yeah. So like, and I got through a couple of those things. So I'm actually, quite happy with.
Okay, so overall, not a complete failure of a year end.
It was chilled, yeah, but it was cool.
It felt unfulfilling to me. I mean, I was off for 3 weeks, and normally somewhere in that period, I would find a couple days to go to like a game reserve or to just go out of town for a bit with friends or somebody, and didn't. And I just found. Yeah, just felt a bit unfulfilling.
Yeah, so, I mean, I agree with you there. I mean, I'm lucky, Kira and I, at least, for our anniversary, we went to Cape Town for a little bit, and then they closed beaches afterwards and stuff, so I at least got to do that, you know, but I get what you're saying, because, like, this is going to sound cliche, but you get those people on Facebook whenever it's, like, new, and they post a photo of them looking into the distance, and they're like,
Jesus, yeah.
and it's their whole speech about 2020 was a challenge, and I'm a better person for it, and this will be the year for me, and blah, blah, blah. Now, as cliche and as cheesy as it is, I to a point see where the people are coming from, because everyone feels that when you've had that time off, what people don't realize is you just had time to flip and like actual rest, because you don't have to go to work, you don't have to, and what happens is you go through a boredom stage, and then you kind of get over that, and then you start getting like kind of a bee in your bonnet. I don't know what the real saying is. And you start to get ideas and you get inspired again almost, which is where people probably post the photos.
Inspired, rejuvenated, all of that.
And I don't feel that for shit. Like this year, it still feels like I'm in 2020. Nothing feels like it's changed.
Yeah.
Like
it doesn't help when right towards the end of the year, pretty much all over the world, they were going back into various lockdowns. So
and I mean, so now we're obviously back in this lockdown. So I mean, what do you think, dude? I mean, I think they're going to extend it. It's coming up.
I think they are, and I think they're going to look at how they can do things. I think they got through the hectic festive thing, so I think they're going to look at new ways to do alcohol sales and stuff, because unfortunately in this country it's just they go hand in hand, that and violence and unnecessary trips to casualty and stuff for people just abusing the alcohol. It is what it is. But because, for the most part, I think people are back at work and in the swing of things, they will find ways and give certain hours to sell that, because, that whole industry generates a lot of money. Not just for the businesses, but sin taxes.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because at the gym I go to, there's a dude, he works in marketing department of SAB.
Right.
And, I don't know if you guys have seen in news that they're taking the government to court and all that. And he said, just off kind of what he knows... There's about, just off tavern sales, apparently like tavern sales and little taverns and stuff are like almost 70% of their business.
Sure. Wow.
And they did a rough thing that 165,000 families are don't have any income.
Sure.
And it's something like 2 billion rand in taxes that the government's lost because they haven't, and it's like...
Look, and I think the government knows it and feels it, but what else do you do? When there was the alcohol... you could see it statistically that half of our hospitals were full with casualty stuff as a direct relation or result of alcohol abuse. So, they needed to try and free up space and everything because of the disease. So, guys, stop drinking. And sadly, here we're just not that responsible. You just see it all over. I saw people on the various beaches and stuff. You know, and people say, "Yo, you're on a beach. You've got distance between you and everyone else," but it's really not the case. There's a lot of people on those beaches.
Yeah, no, for sure.
No masks. Couldn't give a shit.
But then there's another aspect. Again, I don't know how true this is, but there was this photo posted of like a KZN beach that's always packed, and they're like New Year's, and it was empty, and literally the pool area next to it was like 1 trillion people. I'm like, what did you stop?
100%. But the same thing goes to say, yes, okay, so we've clamped down, locked down beaches and that, but I believe places like casinos and all of that was still open and packed. Like literally, like people queuing to sit at machines and stuff. So you go, okay. So again, on your point,
execution.
What have you stopped? What you haven't stopped it. All you've done is you've just shifted the infection zones or areas. So I don't know what the answer is. Vaccines are apparently coming. I don't know.
And now there's a second variant, allegedly.
Not even a second variant. I believe it's the third or something, because apparently right at the beginning there was variant strain 1 and then strain 2. And that's where people were saying that, yeah, the proper original strain, these were the symptoms. And then as a result of second strain, some people could be asymptomatic or only get certain I don't know. Now apparently there's one unique hybrid from South Africa that's doing the rounds. I believe it's touched in Australia already. It's in the UK. So we're blacklisted all over. You just can't travel anywhere from here. Here, and I think the States. Which again, I don't know if you saw the recent riots and stuff. The guys storming Capitol Hill. Yeah, in America.
Dude, I'll be honest with you, like usually I'd be on top of that kind of stuff, but like I'm just so tuned out from it. I'm like, oh, America's being America again. Like, this is coming from a really naive place, but I look at that country in general, and I don't lean towards Trump. I don't lean towards Biden. I look at a country that has so much, and yet they're still fighting over such little fucking stupid things. Excuse my French. Like, I'm like, just sit down and be grateful for what you have. Like, there's countries with people like starving, and here they're like, oh, America,
America.
So it just, it's getting hard for me to take them seriously. Like, as much as, and remember, you know, I've told you, like, I got mad. Just like, I like America. Like, I've even considered moving there, but I just tune out when people like. I don't know.
They've never been more divisive as far as politics goes. I think in the whole recent history that anyone can remember, it's never been this bad. There's always been the extremes, lefts and rights. I think you get that everywhere, but there's this normal kind of majority sitting in the middle, and based on the merits of one or two good candidates on one side or the other, that's where most of the vote would go. Apparently now the country is like, sure, the majority of the people are sitting on one side or the other, and there's a small middle, and unfortunately, just the way things have gone, I don't know why, but the culture there now is you need to be on a side. The middle isn't acceptable anymore. And
I found that in general though, dude, like, it's not all the time, but like if someone's having an argument on Facebook, I'll see someone like gunning Trump. Yeah. And he's clearly leaning left or whatever you want to call it. And then I'll try and give a contrary opinion. And then I'm like this Trump supporter, I'm this and that. I'm like, whoa. I don't even live in America. Like, you need to calm down. I was just giving you a different point of view that I heard from another person. You know,
you can't, because you instantly put in one side and you have to be on one or the other. You just can't objectively chime in with comments.
You know what worries me about that? I think we've talked about this. I can't remember, but what worries me is, say for instance, you are somewhere in the middle, and then someone pushes you to the right. Then, like, not all of us, some of us go, okay, whatever, they just shrug it off. But you get like a lot of people, if that happens enough, they go, maybe I am extremist, and then they start going to these sites, and then so you've effectively created the monster. You could have sat down and be like, well, let's discuss our ideas, you know, like
objectively. Yes.
And then you and people feel like they can only fit in one place, and then I think we have said this, like, and they go into an echo chamber, and then all of a sudden they're shooting up schools and blowing up people, and you're like, what just happened, Joe? Like,
I don't know if you watched that 2020 Must Die.
No, and another mate just told me about it like this morning, so like I actually want to try watch it tonight if I can.
Dude, there's as we're talking about that, there's this soccer mom character played by Christina, I think her name is Milioti or whatever it is. She was the mother in How I Met Your Mother, right at the end.
Okay.
She was the ultimate one that he eventually marries and stuff. She did another thing on Netflix where she was a female wrestler. I think it was called Glamour or Glitter or something like that.
Okay, sounds familiar.
She's a cool actress. And I must say, in this, she actually looks flipping hot. Like, she normally looks cute because she's got that kind of face where big eyes and kind of sweet, nice smile. So she normally looks kind of cute and innocent, sweet and innocent. There, she looks good. Like, damn, I would have. But she plays a sort of like, kind of white privilege, stuck at home soccer mom kind of thing. Like her whole world revolves around like that, like whatever the girls in the neighborhood are gossiping about, that's her reality. And as it goes on, this documentary, you find like subtle racist undertones, which eventually just become like blatant. There's like even a scene where she like turns to the person interviewing her because the guy holding the boom mic is a black dude, and she's just like,
sure, okay. Wow.
No, proper bad. And then like, yeah, you must watch it right to the end because they got like almost like outtakes with the various people, and she's one of them. And she also like, she's doing these normal outtakes, dude, and then she swings far to like Nazi fucking right, like that. Wow. It's just one or two chirps, and you're like, what the? So, and it starts out innocently enough where in the beginning people have told her certain things, so she harmlessly goes and Googles certain things because she's heard a bit of this and a bit of that, and it just so she ends up on a lot of white supremacist sites and support, and that kind of just sways her point of view. So kind of like what you're saying, someone who's potentially neutral, not knowing much about either side, one or two wrong clicks or people point you in the wrong direction, and before you know it, it's like...
Yeah, we're back at the social dilemma that we talked about. Yeah,
100%. So, but they do it in such a funny way that you see this.
Yeah, it's funny because even Archer does that quite well. Like,
yes, in many ways.
The mom, like, she's so bad
on another level.
So, if you liked what Mark and I were talking about here, or just like our content in general,
please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification for more videos.
And do us a favor and find us on the social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram.
See you in the next video.